My bad. I was I was muted my whole time, and I was like, Alice, why aren't you talking? I just told you to go. My bad. So this is stand up. We're gonna talk about what we did, what we're gonna do, and what's blocking us. And Alice, you go first.
So I looked over the Discord bot, and there's already a ChatGPT Discord bot, but we can make our own. That's fine. So yeah. Other than that, I can't think of anything on my end. So yeah, just looking over. I think yeah. You can we can make a Discord bot with Python or Node. I'm probably gonna pick Python. Okay,
Yes, it was
Fede,
right.
you're next.
Alice,
Hmm?
one thing. Can you look into the cold start problem that we have with Haley?
Yeah, that's right. I was reading about that, but I got distracted, so I'll look into that again.
On my side, well, we had a meeting with Rush today. He gave me some feedback on the user testing. So we are going to do some changes. For now, I'm going to start like tracking user requests. So yeah, I'm creating tasks and doing some things there. I tried to update our login logo. I uploaded it to, well, I set the URL on Auth0, but it's not showing the right logo yet. So maybe it takes some time, I don't know. And yeah, I will be working on all the updates. I also created the Google credentials, but the app needs to be reviewed. So we just need to wait. And yeah, that's it. Rush.
All right, my end went and did all the back fees and filed. I guess it's called the what is it called? It's called the renewal void 16 document for Delaware for Jesus Christ and Superpals. So that should be good within a week or two. So we can take donations that are tax deductible. Less money for the government. Oh no. Uh, and what else we did last Friday? We did a user test with Tyrone. I had him just kind of go through the flow. He ran into a ton of problems. Hence, we're backtracking from released to unreleased until we fix those issues. And even before we go and release again, we'll do the testing with a user to do the sign up and see if it's actually a good flow. It should be easy as possible. So, and I fed that information to Fede. What else? Continuing marketing efforts in the 50s for Twitter, looking to grow that. Uh, what else? Let's hear. This weekend was watching. There's on Netflix. They have an Arnold. It's like four episodes. The first one's about his like early life of getting into bodybuilding. Um, and interesting tidbit: his father was a Nazi. So, but in the show, it doesn't mention that at all. He's just like, oh yeah, he was a military guy, or whatever. And then when he was asked about it, he was like, oh, I didn't know back then. And I'm like, bullshit. How do you not know your dad's a Nazi? There's probably like Nazi propaganda all over the house and stuff, right? It's like, I think he's full of shit. It's kind of funny. I would have thought that if you're running up against Arnold when he's running for governor, wouldn't you use the fact that his father was a Nazi against him? Like, hey, do you really want a child of a Nazi as your governor? And that was not the case. So I thought that was funny that Netflix didn't show. I mean, they shot. It's his show, so he can talk about all the good things, but he didn't want to expose any of the bad things, especially his father being a Nazi. And then it explained why he was so cold hearted when he heard that his father passed away. He was like, "Oh, he's dead, whatever." And but he also did the same thing about his brother. So me and Alice were talking about the fact that he might just be a psychopath, right? He has no empathy. He's a Terminator, emotionless. makes sense. You played the role right. So, would you have, Fede, if you were a citizen in the U.S. and you lived in California, would you have voted for the son of a Nazi?
Yeah, I would have. I don't give a shit what his father was. That's not him.
Yeah,
Okay, fair
yeah, me
enough.
neither.
Fair enough. But would you be interested to know that, like, what the person's parents did for a living before you nominate them, or does it not matter at all? Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, or it does fall really far from the tree.
Yeah,
It really
I don't
depends.
care. Yeah, if he says that he's not like, I don't know, happy with the things his father did, I think it's okay.
Exactly.
Fair enough. There's this notion of original sin, right? Like you have to pay the price of the people before you, right? So like if they did something bad, even though you're innocent, you're an innocent child, like you adopt the sin also. So um which is what's happening at my complex here. The people before us didn't take good care of the property, right? So they let everything fall apart, and now the people that are living here now have to pay the price. We're in debt that we have to go and get back. Um so even if your father's a Nazi, you can still make it as governor of California. So don't let your parents dictate your ceiling, right?
Exactly.
And then also don't mention it. Don't mention that your dad was a
That's
father, because that's
totally
probably
agree.
a hot Nazi, because that's not going to help. Other stuff that's going on in let's see, there's an article about Russia lost 17 tanks and 24 APVs. Alice, do you know what an APV is?
What's an APV?
I don't know. I was hoping you know because you're more into guns and stuff than I am. Fede, do you know what an APV is?
No idea.
So Ukraine's launching a counteroffensive against Russia. Um, Armored personal vehicles is what an APV is. So they're pretty much taking our U.S. bucks and the other countries that are shoveling money into Ukraine. I believe it's a proxy war. We're fighting. The U.S. is fighting Russia in Ukraine. In fact, the president is essentially a puppet of the United States. Like we helped him get to power there. So we're funneling money to him so we can have Ukraine be the battleground. Fuck the Ukrainians. Let's go and bomb them there, so we don't have to have the war on Russia or on U.S. land, right? So I guess we're just trying to weaken Russia as much as possible by just funneling billions and billions of dollars. Although I think we could use the money here in the United States. So I think we'd be better off if we didn't have to do this war stuff and we just use the money to help the needy and less fortunate and stuff. Any opinions on that? Do you think that this war is a proxy war? Or do you think it's actually the Ukrainians against the Russians?
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I have to go. So have fun. Bye.
Bye, Alice. I don't know. I haven't read enough.
Is Argentina sending any money to Ukraine?
No, I don't think so. I think because we had we had a good relationship with Russia, and our president stated that he was against this war. So, but I don't think we are sending any money because we don't have any money to send.
Like here's a
So,
peso. Here's an Argentinian
yeah,
peso.
I don't know, maybe some food, but yeah,
Yeah, I can, like, from Putin's eyes, he was seeing it as you're putting a NATO ally at my, not even at my borders, because they're saying like Ukraine's still a part of Russia. Like it's not considered a sovereign state. It's still a part of Russia. It was never seceded. So it's actually just like a um, kind of like a state that's kind of gone rogue, right? And so we're pretty much battling on Russian soil, according to the official lines being drawn. So yeah, it's interesting. We'll see how that mounts. But people are thinking this is the starting point of World War III. Like this is where we're going to start the next big war that's going to have multiple big players come in and fight.
yeah. And the thing is, I don't know how is it there, but here, like the war was on the news for 2 weeks, and then
Hmm.
it was gone. But it's still going. Like it hasn't stopped, but it's
It's
not on
been
the
going on
news.
for a while. Yeah.
Yeah.
Other stuff in the news: UBS completes emergency takeover of Credit Suisse, creating Swiss bank with $1.6 trillion balance sheet. So I guess more banks are failing. Bigger banks are coming in to save these failing banks, and we're just going to get, like, at some point there's going to be very few banks, just a bunch of big players that are saving the small banks.
There was also an issue with Binance US, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good thing or I don't know if it's good, but it was the U.S. government is saying which coins are shit coins and which coins are actual coins. So I don't know what their clear um, criteria is to say, like, this is a good coin, this is a bad coin, but they're pretty much making the call now, like, we're going to back this coin, but we're not going to back this coin. Like they're going to probably back Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some of the big ones, but there are anyone that's coming out with like ICO, you're going to be running into, unless you're following the the law of the land to a T, they're probably going to come in and shut you down. So they're probably going to be shutting down, clamping down on ICOs. But yeah, that was another big thing that happened this weekend. That
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah,
like
it must hurt you
10%.
guys in Argentina, right?
Sorry?
Did you have any money in any of these shit coins or altcoins, as they call them?
No, do you mean like our own shitcoins?
Oh, I'm sure you have your own shit coins, but I'm saying, like, did you have any money? Because I know you're into crypto. I don't have any outside of Bitcoin. I don't have anything that's in an alternate coin.
Yeah, no, I'm mainly on Ethereum.
Okay, so I think for the most part you're safe, unless the government decides, like, we're just gonna shut down major coins also. But it's not like they're shutting down the tech; they're just coming at it from, like, hey, we're just making this illegal in the U.S.
Right.
And if it's illegal in the U.S., it's going to ripple across the whole world. Right? When China said we're shutting down Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin, went down. So they're doing some market manipulation there. And the other big one, the WHO recommends 2 malaria vaccines for use in Africa to combat rising cases and deaths. I don't trust what the WHO says because I've looked into their data and it's like super funky. Just like they want to make Africa look really bad. So when I see something coming out from the WHO talking shit about Africa, I'm just like, whatever, dude. I'm not going to listen to you.
Yeah. The WHO is controlled by the US, right? Mainly.
Yeah. Well, the WHO will tell you how great the US is. And we're like, yeah, we're awesome. All right. Any other news that you heard over the weekend?
No, not that I remember right now.
All right. Well,
I went to see the last Spider-Man movie.
oh,
Did
it's
you see
great.
it?
It's great.
It's awesome. Yeah.
It's long. Like,
Yeah.
I watched that. Like, this weekend I didn't do much but veg. But I watched that movie, which is fantastic. I recommend it. But it's part one of, like, how it's the first one, the
I
second
didn't
one.
know, so I was like, why? I thought it was
Yeah.
going to end.
Yeah, it just kind of
I
ends
was
and you're
happy.
like, yeah, what's going on? I was happy that it's over because I was like, I don't want to sit through 2-3 hours. My butt's hurting. But great movie. I highly recommend it. The first one, if you haven't seen the first one, is also fantastic.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy movies that have, like, metaverse and not metaverse,
Yeah, it has like
metaverse and
the characters are like really well like done. It's art. Yeah.
yeah. Did you like that one where it was like they had the reference to the meme where all the Spider-Mans are pointing to each other? I was like, yeah, memes, baby, memes. And then what else? I watched this one was a rewatch. I watched Bruce Almighty. You ever seen? It's a
No.
movie with Jim Carrey and Morgan Freeman and Jennifer Aniston.
I'm gonna check it.
That's on Netflix.
Okay.
Which my house Netflix no longer works. That's another thing that happened over this last week. Was Netflix is now cracking down in the U.S. for all the people who were sharing credentials. So it wasn't even sharing credentials. My old roommate had logged into this TV over here, and so I was just enjoying, my own profile in her account. And so then I logged in, and it's like, oh yeah, you have to go and, if this is not your main location, like you
Yeah,
shut
they
out.
did the same here.
So I'm gonna boycott Netflix for now until I see like really good content. If I see really good content, then I might be like, all right, I'm willing to pay. But there hasn't been. I mean, there's the Arnold thing, and then I was like, this is such a one-sided showing of this guy, right? Like,
Yeah, it's not as good. Well, I think today they are releasing the last Black Mirror season. Maybe
oh,
that's worth
I
it.
love Black Mirror because it's like the dystopian future with all the cool tech. Yeah, that sort of sci-fi stuff I find really interesting. Do you have a favorite Black Mirror episode?
I love like San Junipero. It's like the only like good outcome. The one with the minds like on a different like that they store your mind and you live like
Oh, like
after
you upload
you.
your consciousness?
Yeah, that one.
Have you ever watched the movie Her?
Yeah, really
That
good.
one, I think it's a great movie. Because that's what kind of makes me think of how it will be when we do get AGI. AGI will like be friendly with everybody and like suggest how to fix things and stuff, but then be like, hey, but I'm not gonna do it for you. I'm just gonna go. And maybe I'll be here and there, if you need me, but for the most part, you guys gotta figure out your own shit.
I'm trying to remember the name of we were talking about Nazis and I watched a really good movie. I think it's called Soft and Quiet.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good.
Soft and quiet. What is it on?
I think it's on Netflix.
2022. Playing out real time, an elementary school teacher organizes a mixer of like minded women when she encounters a woman from her past, leading to a volatile yada, yada, yada. And it didn't get that great of a review, 6.2 on IMDb. But where's it streaming? Maybe I'll watch it if I have time later tonight. Rated R.
Yeah, it's
I don't know any of these actors or actresses, so it's kind of like
it's a strong movie. Yeah, but it's good.
where's it streaming? Oh, it's on Netflix, which I don't have access to, so great. I watched a Martin Scorsese movie like a week ago, called The Last Temptation. It's like I don't know if you want to know about like crisis life and stuff. It's played by William Dafoe. You know who William Dafoe is, right? He's like the he's a villain in Spider-Man. I mean, he has a lot of movies he's been in, but he plays Jesus, and the movie kind of like fills in some gaps of like his life, whether or not that's accurate or not. They might take some liberties.
What
But I
was the
kind of
movie? Because I saw a movie with William Dafoe and it was so bad. It was
not
one
William
that
the Friend.
what?
William the Friend instead of William Dafoe.
Yeah, he was like a thief and he gets stuck in a house and he can't get out. I don't remember the name. I think it's one of the last. Uh, so bad, so boring. I thought it was going to have like a great twist at the end, and
Yeah.
never happened.
Well, I've gotten to the point where if I'm watching a movie and I don't feel hooked in the first 10, 20 minutes, I'll just abandon the movie altogether.
It's called
Rather than
Inside. Don't
Inside,
watch it. Yeah,
don't watch it. So recommend Soft and Quiet. Thumbs down for Inside.
yeah. I have a lot of movies, but I never remember the names.
Let's see here. And that's what else is going on. Antibiotic resistant sepsis infections causing newborn deaths worldwide. There's a lot of talk of like how the vaccine is causing a bunch of long-term problems. It could be like long COVID, or it could be the actual vaccine. I'm not sure. I'm not close enough to it, but there's plenty of doctors that are like, we would give like the flu shot. The flu shot can help the people that are most at risk for the flu are people that are older and or like children, or like babies, right?
Yeah.
But it's also the least effective for them too. So it's like you might be just better off with your natural immunity. So what you should do is, instead of trying to fight these individual viruses and colds and stuff, you just got to boost up your own immune system. So I drink a lot of like green drinks, kale, the greens and stuff that are juiced up. That can usually boost your immune system. My go-to for when I get sick is to drink like a gallon of green stuff, and then I go to sleep and I wake up, my immune system done its thing, so I gave it the ammunition it needs to fight the virus. So if you just have your immune system boosted the entire time, I haven't been sick really for a long time, since I've been just kind of drinking as much greens as possible. Others, when they do get sick, and I recommend that they do just drink a lot of green, after a while they get healthy also. So that's usually my recommendation. It's just boost your immune system. You don't necessarily, there's definitely some vaccines that are good to get because you don't want to get that stuff, right? But if you're just doing it for like the common cold or the flu, just boost your immune system. Let your body build the antibodies to fight that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's right. But if you're old, I will also get the vaccine just in case.
Or do both. Drink a lot of greens and then get the vaccine just in case. Well, actually, I don't know if I want to be recommending the vaccine or not, because I don't have the data. They don't really share the data. Like, they just blame everything on COVID. When people were dying of COVID, they kind of clumped in all the deaths of all viruses. So if you died of flu, no, COVID, because the hospitals were incentivized. Like if you went and said the patient we were trading was COVID versus the flu, they made more money on COVID. So of course, just say everybody's COVID, make more money. So it was a good. And then if you spoke up against it as a doctor, they would say, "Shut the fuck up! You're gonna hurt our bottom line." So,
And I don't know how I was there, but here they didn't test like the diseases. Like if someone died, they didn't test to see if they had COVID or not. But for the numbers, it was COVID.
wherever the money is, we'll put a check mark wherever you will give us the biggest check. And let's say the last thing of the day. Study shows COVID-19 vaccine reduces hospitalization and morbidity rates in England. Let's see here. The study found that one dose of COVID-19 vaccine reduced likelihood of hospitalization by 52%, whereas 2 doses increased vaccine effectiveness to 56%. So you get they're pretty much saying you get a diminishing return on the more vaccines you take. So once you have one, you're covered for the most part, and any additional one after that, you don't really get a boost.
How many do you have?
Right. Anything else, Fede? I know you got a long list of things to fix.
Yeah, I have a lot.
All right. Catch you later.
Bye, everyone.